Hey, good evening, friends. Today I'll be talking about three ways how we can improve our society. Let me ask you with a simple question. If every one of us do a small deed of good every day, how would the society be? It would be the best place to live, right? So let me, in next 2 to 3 minutes, talk about three things which I feel I wanted to do to the society that will make the change to everyone. And secondly, I will also share one example, personal example of the corporate social responsibility, what we do at our present company, how we started, and then how it is presently. So I will share those details, and I will also talk about a call out for action. So what we can do, simple things, and finally with a catchy note, I'll conclude. So let me talk about three things which we can do. One is the help. I would say like one help every day. If we can do, every person can do. That is going to be small drops of water can make an ocean. So we all would have heard it in the when we were young. So that is what will happen. It will be a rippling effect. One person keep doing one good deed. So that good deed can be, need not be every time money, resources, or the material things, but it can be immaterial things as well. Like give a skill which share a knowledge which you can share, help somebody in need, listen to them, somebody in distress. Also you can help an elderly, help a college going person who's struggling to compete on his studies, or to pass out his exams. So likewise, like small deeds, if we start doing it, so it will create a rippling effect, and there will be a big change which can happen. And second thing what I felt was to the planet, so in and around us. So we have to, how to help our planet, or to the environment, I would call it. So how can we improve our environment? One is we can, small thing, again I'm saying, like every day we can do it, everybody can do it. So usage of water, which is very precious. So are we wasting the water just like that? I mean, oozing of water in the taps when the taps are not tightly fitted, and we waste water right, left, center, without understanding the importance of how many people in the country and in the globe who are suffering without a drop of water, and which is making a huge difference to them. So again, that alongside, I would also call it not only wastage of water, wasting of food. So which is something I always remember the words of my managing director. So in the organization, when he used to say, so Anthony, so why don't you just go and I mean, we have a cafeteria, very full-fledged cafeteria, the wastage of the food. So how much kilo of the wastage of food which we have had, can you just measure it? Anything if it is not measured, if it is not targeted with a reduction, it will not you can't reduce it. That's very simple. So he said, how can you weigh how much of wastage of food we are doing it? So when it was weighed, believe me, I couldn't really believe it was in hundreds of kilos we were wasting. So then that time we decided and we started coming up with videos. We have videos which will be running in our cafeteria. So we ran the videos where people are really suffering for so one time of food, and one time of how much it matters to them. And we also started propagating with the awareness. And so when we did that and then did some small administrative controls, believe me, it came so very low. And that is something which we can do. in terms of environment. And most importantly, everybody does like plantation. So one person can plant a small deed or small trees you can plant, or as a group you can go and plant. Now that it is coming up with social forestry, Miyawaki forest and things like that, where we have done so much of deforestation. Now at least do some afforestation is the talk of the town, and talk of the geopolitical leaders who talk about it, right? So that is number 2. Number 3, share your knowledge, share your skills. So, and not only knowledge, also you can share your values to the person. So by doing it, you are passing on the values to the generation, you are passing on your knowledge to the next generation. So these are the 3 simple things, of course, but very powerful, right? So what I felt personally, by saving your environment, by doing small act of help every day, do a small support or help every day, I felt even the knowledge or skill which we are giving, which is going to make a huge difference. So here, my dear friends, I wanted to close it with quote of Gandhiji. So be the change that you want to see in the world. So you have to be that change agent, and that is what the powerful word of Mahatma Gandhi, which came to my mind. Again, help people, protect the environment, and pass on the values. On this note, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. And the call out for action is very simple. Again, now please, 1% small deed, as he said. So start helping people with not many material, but with small act, like teach them somebody in need, hear them somebody wants to have to be heard, and whoever is in distress. And thirdly, don't waste water, use less plastics, and don't waste food. And finally, pass on the values and the knowledge which you have. So when you start doing it right from tomorrow, it is going to create a big change. On this note, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.